Under my plan, first of all, 98% of folks who make less than $250,000, you wouldn't see your income taxes go up a single dime. All right? Because you're the ones who need relief. But we're not going to be able to get it done unless we also ask the wealthiest households to pay higher taxes on their incomes over $250,000. The same rate we had when Bill Clinton was president, and our economy created nearly 23 million new jobs.
That's from a new video by the Obama administration designed to get the public on the president's side of this tax fight. The president took to Twitter today to answer questions about the fiscal cliff. One person asked whether deductions for homeowners are at risk, to which the president responded, breaks for middle class important for families and economy. If top rates don't go up, danger that middle class deductions get hit. Was signed B.O. Yesterday, House Speaker John Boehner said this on Fox News.
Listen, nobody wants to go over the cliff. That's why the day after the election, I tried to speed this process up by making a concession to put revenues on the table. And it's unfortunate that the White House has spent 3 weeks doing basically nothing. You know, the president's idea of a negotiation is roll over and do what I ask.
And on Meet the Press yesterday, Grover Norquist tried to change America's mind about who's to blame if we do go off the cliff.
Tea Party 2 is going to dwarf Tea Party 1 if Obama pushes us off the cliff. Maria, let's not pretend who's pushing us over the cliff. Well, we'll see.
But Bill Kristol, editor of the conservative magazine The Weekly Standard, continues to insist that the president does have the better argument.
At the end of the day, President Obama is selling a very simple message. I want to keep taxes low for middle-class Americans, and Republicans look like, I'm worried, are in the position of looking as if they don't care about the middle class and just want to keep tax rates low for wealthy Americans.
Crystal, it's Grover Norquist versus the polls, actually. The polls tell us, a new CNN poll says that 45% of Americans would blame congressional Republicans if no deal is reached, and 34% would blame President Obama. I don't think Grover's going to turn that around.
No, I don't think Grover's going to turn that around, and I don't think that he's right that Tea Party 2 will dwarf Tea Party 1.
He's so wrong. He is so wrong.
But I do think that there's truth to the fact that there is already a backlash from the ultra-right, the sort of grassroots Tea Partiers that are still out there are already upset with Boehner over his initial starting position, which is still quite far to the right, which, as you know, as you and Ezra and Ryan talked about last segment, doesn't even include any increase in the top tax rates at all. It still focuses on these magic, reductions of loopholes and deductions that we've never heard anyone from Mitt Romney or anyone else be able to actually describe. Let's
listen to something that Tim Geithner said yesterday, his description of the Republicans' problem.
They're in a kind of a tough position now, and it's obviously a little hard for them now, and they're trying to figure out where they go next. And we might need to give them a little time to figure out where they go next.
When you say they're in a hard spot, what do you mean?
Because they're trying to figure out how to find a way to support things that they know they're going to have to do. That's going to be very hard for them. They have to tell us what they're willing to do on rates and revenues. That's going to be very hard for Republicans. We understand that. Again, if they need a little more time to figure out what they can do, what they want to do, that's okay. We don't have that much time, though.
Ari, he's saying, we're not going to give you anything. If you want more time to decide what you're going to do now, we're not giving you anything.
Yeah, I mean, Tim Geithner...
very compassionate.
Yeah. There was an empathy there. I mean, Tim Geithner looks like a therapist saying, you got some work to do, and some of it you're going to have to do on your own. You're going to have to figure it out. And the other thing he said, of course, also on Meet the Press was, look, this is how it's going to go down, and if you drive us off the cliff, the tax rates are going to go up for everyone, and we're going to have to deal. And that goes back to a point you raised in the earlier segment, which is this desire to take Erskine Bowles, who's not exactly a household name, and try to claim that his testimony at a given moment in time reflects some great Republican compromise is dead on arrival. Mr. Bowles came out today, and he said that the attempt to invoke his testimony was off base, and that this Republican offer, to the extent it offers anything, is not the Simpson-Bowles plan and is not the Bowles plan. So it reminds me a little bit of the rap group 3-6 Mafia that they always say.
I think we all went there.
That's where your mind went, Crystal.
Yeah.
They say, keep my name out your mouth. And it's a tough thing to say to someone, but it's basically what Mr. Bowles said to Speaker Boehner was, don't talk about me, don't talk about my plan, go work on your own plan.
Let's listen to another thing Grover said yesterday about President Obama.
It's the president who's threatening to raise taxes on the middle class if he doesn't stamp his feet and get his way.
It's so funny to see somebody talk about someone else in full projection mode.
Right.
I mean, that is Grover, stamping his feet and getting his way. And he's pretending that this president behaves the way he does.
Yeah, I mean, that's been his entire path to power.
And he's gotten his way.
And he has gotten his way
time.
because he not only has he, stamped his feet to get his way, but he's also threatened people. He's already done that here, basically by saying that the Tea Party 2 is going to dwarf Tea Party 1, that's sending out a message saying, if you support any revenue increases, if you go along with compromise, we're gonna get you next time around in your primary. I mean, that's what this is all about. It's threats and intimidation to Republicans who are thinking about actually trying to come to some sort of deal and move forward.
Let's listen to a prediction Lindsey Graham made, which I think I agree with.
I think we're going over the cliff. It's pretty clear to me they've made a political calculation.
I'd say right about now, he's right about that the White House has made the choice. If we don't get exactly what we want before New Year's Eve, we're going to let this happen.
Yeah, we're going to let it happen. And look, it's not the end of the world if the question is, do we do a deal in the 9th inning or the 10th inning?
Exactly.
If you look at the markets, if you look at the ratings agencies, nobody who's serious about these issues expects there would never be a deal. If there were never a deal, and we actually had arbitrary defense cuts and a complete, restructuring of our taxes and payroll taxes, and yeah, that would definitely hurt the economy. But if it's
for
delayed,
a while,
for a while,
even that we would curve out of.
Exactly. But if it's 2 or 3 weeks, and it's 2 or 3 weeks that the Republicans want to do for the sake of their own drama and their own inability to make up their minds, I think we can handle it.
I think it'll be less than 3 weeks. I think it'll be in the order of 7 days, 10 days maximum. Crystal Ball and Ari Melber, thank you both for joining us.
Thanks, Lawrence.
Coming up, Hillary Clinton is running for president. So says the first line of an article posted online today at The New Yorker. And Mitt Romney is not enjoying private life, according to a Washington Post report today that says Mr. and Mrs. Romney are having a hard time adjusting to losing the election. Have you read that?